Now, Azimio la Umoja presidential candidate Raila Odinga is questioning IEBC's decision to disallow use of manual voter registers across the 46,000 polling stations as a complementary mechanism to electronic identification of voters in the August polls. Through his chief legal advisor, Paul Mwangi, Odinga wants Chebukati to explain the rationale of his administrative directive and measures taken to ensure that the electronic voter identification system will not collapse by default or design and deny the electorate an opportunity to exercise their democratic right at the ballot. We begin our broadcast with our very own Francis Gashuri, who reports that Odinga terms Chebukati's directive a dangerous tool in the hands of anarchists.
When he received an audit report on the 2022 voter register, IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati maintained that manual voter rolls would not be used in the August 9th polls as a complementary mechanism to electronic identification of voters through the Kenya Integrated Election Management System, Chebukati terming his administrative directive the ultimate solution to electoral malpractices.
As a result of the 2017 election and the post-election evaluation, it was found that most of the malpractices were as a result of the physical register. And we believe that using the digital register will cut down all those malpractices.
A decision that has prompted Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party flag bearer Raila Odinga to pose 7 questions to Chebukati 47 days to the polls. Top among them, Odinga through his chief legal advisor Paul Mwangi questions Chebukati's change of heart after rooting for manual identification of voters and results transmission as a complementary measure in the 2017 general election. According to Odinga, who was in the 2013 and 2017 presidential races, technology failure on the election day is likely. He terms Chebukati's directive risky since it is based on an assumption that the KIMS kits will work seamlessly.
I am wondering, do you have any other redundancy that you have designed in case of failure of technology of that day? I ask this knowing very well that this has happened before.
In case a kit fails, then we can now just be able to replace it with a working kit, and all we need to do is basically just to remove the SD card from the KIMS kit and insert it in the new KIMS kit.
In the run-up to the 2017 general election, a 3-judge High Court bench ruled that it was not possible for IEBC to conduct an exclusively electronic poll, a verdict that was upheld by the Court of Appeal. Odinga questioning Chebukati's interpretation of electoral regulations, holding that a complementary equipment does not mean a complementary system of identifying voters and results transmission, as required by the law. Chebukati's decision to bar use of physical copies of the voter register would, according to Odinga, be repealing electoral regulations through administrative directives without the input of stakeholders in the August 9th polls.
And I believe perhaps a date can be set for this conversation before we print the ballot papers so that we can have a further engagement on this.
With recent cases of irregular and abnormal transfer of voters from polling stations without their consent attributed to errors of omission and commission by some IEBC officials in an audit conducted by KPMG, Odinga is apprehensive that similar infiltration and sabotage could occur on the voter register, leading to a crisis on the polling day. Chebukati promising to convene a session to address issues raised by the stakeholders, even as 7 civil society organizations moved to court to seek orders quashing his directive. The 2022 voter register has 22.1 million Kenyans spread across 46,232 polling stations countrywide. More than 5 million eligible citizens failed to enlist themselves as voters. The register has 11.2 million male and 10.8 million female voters. 8.8 million voters are in the youth category as defined by the Constitution, which is 39.8% of the national voter population. Francis Gashuri, Citizen TV.